motherfucker, Thug Nation alert. Keep his name on the streets till you lay in the dirt.
Till I die, look till they smoke me, the shit don't stop till my casket drop.
I said what I felt. Them my homeboys, I love them. When I got back to the hotel, it was a whole nother atmosphere. He sent his homeboy up to get the bud from me as opposed to him coming to get it. Mutai came and got the bud. Pac on some bud.
High till I die, look till they smoke me, the shit don't stop till my casket drop. I'm high till I die.
Only Gab can do it like this. Yo, YouTube, what up? This your homie Gab, I'm in the building. And this is Makaveli Media. Welcome to the Makaveli Chronicles Part 2. And this one here, we still gonna take a look at the coroner's report. Certain things I find fishy about it. Now, in the first one, we broke down Tupac's height and weight that they had listed on this coroner's report when they did his autopsy, and the inconsistencies we found with their findings. On this one here, we're gonna look a little bit lower on the same document, and we're gonna go to the toxicology report. They say they found no drugs in Tupac's system. And I find that very weird because we know that Tupac was a big fan of the bud. Facts. Now check this out. We got to try to figure out, when we think Pac last smoked. Now, Tupac was in the hospital, about 6 days, 5 days, 6 nights total. He was cremated the next day after he was pronounced dead. So you got roughly a whole week's time from the time Tupac got hurt. Tupac succumbed to his injuries, and they, cremated Tupac. Now, I don't know how many of y'all ever took a drug test in your life, whether it was for work, whether it had something to do with your probation, or what have you. But the first thing you know is that smoke stays in your system, right? For like up to 30 days, a whole month for it to show up, on the test. So if Tupac died, that means for him not to have any, drugs in his system. He would have to be at least clear of the green for 30 days. Now check this out. In an interview Snoop Dogg did, detailing the last time he saw Tupac and how confrontational the two were towards each other, or primarily the hostility Tupac had towards him, because he went on air and said he had no beef with Puff Daddy and Biggie and Bad Boy Records. Matter of fact, he considered them his friends.
I said what I felt. Them my homeboys, I love them. When I got back to the hotel, it was a whole nother atmosphere.
He said directly after that, Tupac had no more rap for him. And this is a week before Tupac gets shot and killed, right? In this interview, Snoop Dogg said that Tupac sent Mutai up to his room to get the bud.
He sent his homeboy up to get the bud from me as opposed to him coming to get it. Mutai came and got the bud. Pac on some bud.
This is a week before the shooting. Matter of fact, It was days before the shooting. Excuse me, I misspoke. It was days before the shooting. Tupac sent Mutai up to Snoop's room to get the bud. So you saying that's about, all together, probably 10 days before, they cremated Tupac. So why was he sending Mutai to get some smoke? So he could use it. Pac was telling you, man, he had he could blow an ounce a day. Probably more than that. All day long. That's what he was into. And you mean to tell me that this body in the coroner's possession was 48 pounds heavier than Tupac's listed weight? He was about 3 inches taller than Tupac's listed height. And he had no drugs in his system. That's another red flag. There's video footage of Pac smoking in the studio. In the studio, leaning against the mixing board, blowing green. Why he's at death row? To be completely honest, all you got to do is ask yourself this. Just think long and hard about this one thing and see if it makes any sense to you at all. You mean to tell me that Tupac is in Las Vegas? He's in Las Vegas, y'all, at a Mike Tyson fight, and he didn't smoke? He's in Las Vegas. Now, I've never been to Vegas before. I've been many places. California, New York, too many times to remember. New Jersey, Florida, Atlanta, of course, D.C., all over. But I've never been to Vegas. But trust me, if I was in Vegas at the fight, yeah. But Pac is in Vegas. Sin City. Now, Pac smoke at home. Pac smoke at the studio. Pac smoke on his way to court. But he don't blow nothing. Why he in Vegas? Makes no sense to me. If you remember what Frank Alexander said, Tupac's deceased bodyguard, he said that Tupac told him to ride with the outlaws because they were getting drunk and high.
You're going to be the designated driver to drive us back after we finish partying.
That's what he said. They was already getting messed up. They needed a designated driver. Facts. The night that the infamous white Cadillac pulled up, they was already getting smoked out. So you mean to tell me 6 days later, they find nothing in Tupac's system? And this video ain't to promote no type of abuse. Cherish thy body because thy body is the temple. We're talking about one man, we're talking about one situation, and we're talking about one of his habits. To smoke. To drink was another one. To record was a third one. To have fun with young ladies was a fourth one. Typical young shit. All right? But they find nothing. It just doesn't make sense to me. It don't make sense, y'all. Something's wrong.
Hard till I die, dope till they smoke me, the shit don't stop till my cash
sent his homeboy up to get the bud from me as opposed to him coming to get it. Mutai came and got the bud. Pop wants some bud.